Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Myself Isha Tariq Bhatti and Phil Pharmaceutics from Punjab University, working as a lecturer in Faculty of Pharmacy, Hajwari University. So this is my first lecture of biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetics, and the topic of today's discussion is multiple dosage regime. So first of all, we will see what are the learning outcomes of this lecture. So by the end of this lecture, you will be able to understand why we need multiple dosing and plasma level time curve after multiple dose administration. Regarding steady state, what is steady state, features of multiple dosing, then accumulation, then fluctuation, then principle of superposition, then kinetic analysis of IV multiple dose, and then kinetic analysis of extravascular multiple dose and applications of multiple dose kinetics. So first of all, we will discuss multiple dosage regime, need of multiple dosage regime. After single dose drug administration, the plasma level rises above and then fall below the minimum effective concentration, resulting in decline in therapeutic effect. As you know, when we administer a drug in single dose, it rises above and then fall below the minimum effective concentration. Minimum effective concentration is the concentration which is the minimum concentration at which the drug shows its effect. So if the minimum concentration is not met by the dose administered, then we cannot achieve any therapeutic effect. So if the concentration falls below the minimum effective concentration, then there will be decline in therapeutic effect. To maintain prolonged therapeutic activity, many drugs are given in multiple dosage regime. So what is the advantage of a multiple dosage regime? The plasma levels of drugs given in multiple doses must be maintained within a narrow limit of therapeutic window, CP, that is concentration in plasma above the minimum effective concentration and below the minimum toxic concentration, MTC, to achieve optimal clinical effectiveness. So if we want to achieve optimal therapeutic effect, for that we need concentration in plasma that should be between minimum toxic concentration and minimum toxic concentration and minimum effective concentration. If the drug concentration will be between these two concentrations, then there will be optimal therapeutic effect. Dosage regime is established for drug to provide the correct plasma level without excessive fluctuation and drug accumulation outside the therapeutic window. So dosage regime is established for any drug to provide the correct plasma level without excessive fluctuation between minimum effective concentration and minimum toxic concentration, and drug accumulation beyond the toxic level. If the drug level exceed the toxic level, that is minimum toxic concentration exceeded, then there will be toxicity. And to avoid this toxicity, we have to maintain the concentration between the minimum effective concentration and below the minimum toxic concentration between the therapeutic window. As you can see in this figure, there is minimum effective concentration and minimum toxic concentration, and in between these two concentration will be therapeutic range. So a drug should be the you can say plasma drug concentration should be in between these two concentration. Say for example, in this curve, peak plasma concentration is below the toxic concentration and above the effective concentration. Criteria for optimum dosage regime. The plasma level of drug given must be maintained within the therapeutic window. So for any drug, any dosage regime, the therapeutic window should be maintained. Drug plasma level should be maintained between the therapeutic window. As you can say that As you can see that there is an example that the therapeutic range of theophylline is 10 to 20 microgram per liter. So the best is to maintain the plasma drug concentration around 15 microgram per ml. So it should not be at the level of minimum effective concentration and should not cross the maximum toxic concentration or minimum toxic concentration. So if the toxic concentration is you can say, if the drug level crosses the toxic concentration, there will be toxicity, and if it fall below the minimum effective concentration, then there will be no therapeutic effect. So to maintain the therapeutic effect in the optimal range, uh, the plasma drug concentration should be between the minimum effective concentration and between the toxic concentration. Should not cross that toxic concentration, should be below the toxic concentration, should be convenient to the patient. So the dosage regime which you select um, should be compliant or should be convenient for the patient to take. It is difficult to take IV injection every half an hour or one tablet every 2 hours. This lead to poor compliance, or this will or the patient will not be compliant to this dosage regime. Then factors affecting the design of dosage regime. What 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 factors that will affect the design of dosage regime? Factor number one is the size of drug dosage. A drug dose. Drug dose should not be very large and should not be very small. There should be some optimum dose that the by which we can achieve the therapeutic levels so that the drug can show its effect. And second one is the frequency of drug administration, that is TAW, the time interval between the doses. Time interval is very important. We have to very carefully choose the time interval. If we take the time interval, a longer time interval, then there will be a decline in therapeutic effect, and we can the first dose which we have administered may fall below the minimum effective concentration, and the therapeutic effect will not be achieved. So the therapeutic intervals are very carefully monitored and very carefully designed so that we can achieve the therapeutic effect in the optimal range. Plasma level time curve after multi-dose administration. Single dose administration, plasma level time profile in multiple dosing is the basis for computation of pharmacokinetic parameters. Like in single dose administration, plasma level time profile is very important for multiple dosage regime, as this is the basis for computation of pharmacokinetic parameters. Plasma level time curve for single dose is different from that generated from multiple dose. Definitely, there will be a different curve. As we can see that in case of, let me show you. As you can see that in this figure, this is the graph for plasma level time curve after single dose administration, IV dose administration. And this is the curve, bell-shaped curve is for extravascular administration or oral route of administration. So you can see that there will be fall in therapeutic effect, or you can say that the level of the drug, that is elimination of the drug, is you can say this curve denote the elimination curve. This will show the absorption phase, and this will show the elimination phase. After several doses, a plateau or steady state is achieved, with the plasma concentration fluctuating between a minimum and maximum value called as C minimum SS and C maximum SS respectively. In this, C minimum SS is minimum concentration at steady state, and this is C maximum SS is maximum concentration at steady state. Before achieving steady state, the minimum and the maximum concentration are represented as C minimum n, and C maximum n, where n represent the number of doses that will be administered. Elimination is considered as following first order kinetics, that is dependent on the concentration of the drug. As you can see in this graph, that is only single dose is administered. In this graph, two doses are administered, and in this case, several doses several doses are administered to attain the steady state concentration. So what is steady state? A state when the amount in and the amount out does dose eliminated per dosing interval are equal, when the dose that is administered and the amount come out, that is dose eliminated per dosing interval, are equal. If these two, amount in and amount out, are equal, then we can say that this is the steady state. At steady state, first dose has been eliminated. How long? This depend on the half-life of the drug. We assume that at steady state, when we assume that the steady state is achieved, we assume that the first dose has been eliminated, and how long it will take to eliminate the first dose administered, it will be decided on the basis of its half-life. Loading dose is administered to achieve faster steady state concentration. So sometimes we administer loading dose, or you can say that the booster dose, to achieve the faster steady state. As you know that when we have to achieve a steady state, we have to administer several doses of drug. So if we want to achieve a faster steady state concentration, then to achieve that concentration faster, we have to administer loading dose. Cmax is important factor to determine drug safety. It must always remain below toxic level, and it is also the indicator for drug accumulation. As you know, Cmax is the peak plasma concentration, so it should be above the minimum effective concentration and below the toxic level. So this is the safety, you can say, it is the important factor to determine the drug safety, and also the indicator of drug accumulation. If its value after multiple dosing remains same as that obtained after single dose, there is no accumulation. So if the dose, if you can see that, I will show you in the figure. Just a minute. Okay. As you can see here, if the dose, no, not in this figure, but I have to go back. Yes, in this graph, you can see that here the steady state level are achieved. So here you can say that the concentration at each level, that is the steady state, is equal to the previous, so that the previous dose is as that of the level of the previous dose. Then we administered the dose, and then it also falls back at the same level. So in this state, you can say that to achieve the steady state, the plasma drug concentration should be maintained. So in this case, there is no accumulation. But if you see in this curve, just a minute. In this curve, you see that the initial concentration is not the same. That in this case, the concentration is here. In this case, it is higher. In this case, it is even higher, and in this case, it is even higher. So if this is the case, you can say that the initial concentration is higher, and built up in the concentration. We can say that here the drug is accumulated. However, a larger Cmax SS than Cmax after first dose shows drug accumulation. So you can say that larger Cmax steady state than Cmax after first dose shows drug accumulation, as I told you earlier. Then comes the dose frequency depend on the required target. Wait a minute. The dose frequency depend on required target concentration time profile. The dose frequency depend on yeah, or you can say that dosing interval depend on the targeted concentration time profile which we want to achieve. According to that, we will set the frequency or dose frequency or frequency interval. In this profile is flat, there is if this profile is flat, there is need of short dose interval relative to half-life. C average can be obtained by so if you achieve a flatter curve, then it is indicated that the dose that is achieved or the plasma concentration that is achieved is not the optimum concentration. So you need to you can you say that you can say that you need to shorter your uh, interval dosage interval so that the concentration in the plasma optimum concentration in plasma can be achieved. So to achieve the average concentration can be obtained by by this formula, that is C average is equal to area under curve divided by tau. Tau is the dosage interval. I have explained this graph earlier. In oral administration, the subsequent dose is administered usually in post-absorption phase. Thus, the absorption rate constant does not affect the C minimum since most of the drug has assumed to be absorbed. In case of oral administration, we assume that when we administer the second dose, um, uh, that interval is in the post absorption phase, and you assume that the dose is the first dose that we administer is almost consumed, or you can say that is assumed to be absorbed. So in that case, C minimum will not affect your further calculation or further explanation. However, Cmax in this case depend on the absorption rate constant, since it occurs at Tmax, which is complex function of absorption and elimination rate constant. So Cmax is the peak plasma concentration, and it is achieved at maximum uh, time at Tmax. That is the time to achieve peak plasma concentration, and this time is the complex function of absorption and elimination rate constant. Features of multiple dosing. First of all, it is accumulation. When a drug is administered in regular intervals over a prolonged period of time, the rise and fall of concentration in blood will be determined by the relationship between the half-life of elimination and the time interval between the doses. So here you can see that if the drug is administered at regular interval or a prolonged period of time, then the concentration in the blood will rise and fall between the rise and fall between the minimum effective concentration above and then below, above and then below, and this relationship or you can say that drug concentration in blood will be determined by the relationship between the half-life of elimination and the time interval between the doses. So if the drug amount administered in each dose has been eliminated before the next dose is applied, repeated intake at constant interval will result in similar plasma levels and there will be no accumulation. If intake occurs before the preceding dose has been eliminated completely, the next dose will add on to the residual amount still present in the body, that is the drug accumulation. So if we administered the dose before the first dose is being completely eliminated, then the next dose will be added into the residual amount and the total drug concentration will be higher, or you can say that drug will start accumulating. The shorter the dosing interval relative to the elimination half-life, the larger will be the residual amount of drug to which the next dose is added, and the more extensively will be the drug accumulation in the body. So if the dosing interval will be smaller, there will be very less time for any dose to be get eliminated. So the residual amount will be higher, and if the residual amount is larger, then when you administer this next dose, it will be add on in the residual amount, and started built up the drug concentration that will be in the form of drug accumulation. At the given dosing frequency, the drug dose not accumulate infinitely, and a steady state or accumulation equilibrium is eventually reached, and it is called as plateau. So if the at the given dosing frequency that we are administering one dose after another, there will be no accumulation like infinite drug accumulation. Why this is so? Because elimination procedure is happening side by side. So because of that elimination procedure, there will be no accumulation of drug uh, as it is as such, and you can say that you can achieve the steady state concentration, or which is called as plateau. This is because the activity of elimination process is concentration dependent. The higher the drug concentration rises, the greater is the amount eliminated per unit time. So you can see over here, if the drug is administered at regular interval, there will be no build-up in the, you can say, or no accumulation of drug will takes place. So if the dosage interval is large, the concentration may fall below the effective concentration, and the drug dose and the drug concentration level will be difficult to achieve. And in this case, you can say that the drug is administered before the complete dose is eliminated, so the residual amount of drug is added up into the new dose or fresh dose, and there is built up or accumulation of drugs started to appear until unless a steady state is achieved. Because elimination procedure is happening side by side, the accumulation is determined by a factor known as accumulation factor, and it is determined by accumulation factor is the concentration after steady state divided by concentration after single dose. So now we will consider what is fluctuation. The plasma level time profile after multi-dose administration illustrated the several sets of rise and fall of concentration called as fluctuation. You can say after multiple dosing, you will see a drug will illustrate rises and fall. These rises and falls in drug concentration are indicated or called as fluctuation. This fluctuation is calculated by CSS maximum divided by CSS minimum, which is equal to exponent to the raised power minus k elimination, and tau, that is uh, time for interval dose intervals. Then tau is equal to a natural log of C minimum divided by C maximum divided by k elimination, that is elimination rate constant. Then principle of superposition. The superposition principle can be used when all the pharmacokinetic processes are linear, and that is when distribution, metabolism, and excretion process are linear or first order, and the concentration after multiple doses can be calculated by adding together the concentration from each dose, also doubling the dose when resulting in the concentration each time doubling. In what happened in case of principle of superposition, there are some assumptions that the drug is eliminated by first order kinetics, and that the pharmacokinetic of the drug after a single dose are not altered after taking multiple doses. So what happened in principle of superposition, that we have administered a dose, then we have administered the second dose. There is a, you can say that if we have say for example 2 milligram of drug is administered, and after some time interval we have administered the second dose, that is also 2 milligram. Then at the end of this interval there will be 4 milligram of drug, as we assume that there will be no elimination. Then this build up or the doubling up of the concentration of the drug is called as superposition. Then comes kinetic analysis. of IV multiple dose. That is topic is kinetic. Just a minute. Kinetic analysis of IV multiple dose. Kinetic parameters for multiple doses are calculated from the plasma level time curve obtained from the single dose pharmacokinetic study. For IV multi-dose, the required pharmacokinetic parameters are persistence factor, loss factor, accumulation factor, C naught, C max, C minimum, C maximum steady state, C minimum steady state. So one by one, we will see how we can calculate these factors. First of all, persistence factor. Persistence factor is the fraction of drug remaining in the body. It is calculated by persistence factor is equal to exponent raised power minus k elimination, and tau is the dosing interval or dosing frequency. So the amount of drug that will remain in the body after the elimination phase is called the persistence factor, and this is the equation for calculation of the persistence factor. Then comes loss factor, the fraction of drug eliminated from the body. The drug that is eliminated from the body is called the loss factor, and it is calculated by loss factor is equal to 1 minus persistence factor. Then come accumulation factor. It is the ratio of the drug after administration of n doses to the drug in the body after single dose. It is calculated by accumulation factor is the exponent of minus n k elimination, and tau is the dosing interval divided by loss factor. And we can also consider it or equate it as exponent of minus ke elimination, that is elimination rate constant, and tau divided by 1 minus elimination exponent of minus k elimination tau, that is dosing frequency. The drug accumulation depend on the elimination rate constant and half-life, but is independent of the dose of the drug, length of the dosing interval, and the number of doses. So as you can see that it is dependent on the elimination half-life, or you can say elimination rate constant, and the dosing interval, and the frequency of dose administered, not on the dose of the drug, length of the dosing interval, and the number of doses. Then come maximum plasma concentration or Cmax-N. The maximum concentration of drug in blood after administration of n doses is called the maximum drug concentration, and it is calculated as C naught 1 minus exponent of minus n k elimination tau divided by 1 minus E minus k E tau. And minimum concentration is calculated by minimum concentration of drug in the blood after administration of n doses will be C minimum n is equal to C maximum n into persistence factor. Then comes steady state concentration. C maximum steady state is calculated by C maximum steady state is equal to C naught divided by loss factor, and C minimum SS is calculated by C minimum steady state is equal to C maximum SS, that is C maximum steady state into persistence factor, and C average is calculated by F that is fraction of dose into C naught, that is initial drug concentration, into 1.44 into T half-life divided by tau. That then comes kinetic analysis after extravascular multi-dosing. The plasma level time profile after oral dose has a striking difference in appearance as bell shape, peaks as compared to sharp rise and falls after IV administration. So plasma drug plasma level time curve after oral dose have striking difference in appearance as bell shape, peaks as compared to sharp rise and fall after IV administration. You know that the curve for extravascular administration is bell shape as compared to that of IV, that is a straight line. However, in extravascular dosing, the following same The following same criteria as with IV multiple dosing are applied. What is the same criteria? Time to reach steady state depend on half-life. Then principle of superposition will be the same. And the amount of drug eliminated in an interval is equivalent to the amount dosed in that interval. These factors will be the same. So the required parameters are time to reach peak plasma concentration, that is Tmax, then absorption rate constant Ka by intercept of the extrapolated terminal portion of the plasma level time curve, that will be B, and the maximum and minimum concentration at steady state, that will be denoted by Cmax SS and C minimum SS respectively. So here are the formulas. Tmax will be calculated by natural log of Ka minus natural log of K elimination divided by Ka minus Ke. Here Ka and Ke are absorption rate constant and the elimination rate constant. So T maximum steady state will be calculated by natural log of natural log divided by Ka, that is absorption rate constant, minus Ke, that is elimination rate constant, bracket Ka absorption rate constant and K elimination rate constant, 1 minus exponent of minus Ke tau divided by 1 minus exponent of minus Ka Ka tau. So this is the formula for calculating the steady state time Tmax, and then comes C maximum SS, that is concentration at steady state will be equal to B, that is extrapolated y-intercept of the extrapolated curve into E, that into exponent of minus K elimination T maximum divided by 1 minus E minus K elimination tau, and C minimum SS is equal to B into exponent of minus K elimination tau divided by 1 minus E exponent of minus K elimination tau. These are the formulas which are used to calculate the different parameters. Then comes application of multiple dose kinetics, designing dosage regime. This multiple dose regime can be designed by determining an appropriate dosing interval and size of dose that achieve the target drug concentration. So this multiple dose regime can be used to determine the appropriate dosage interval and size of the dose to achieve the target drug concentration which we want to achieve. The kinetic is also used to determine loading and maintenance dose for an individual or patient. If we want to calculate the loading dose and the maintenance dose for any patient, individualized patient or customized patient, then we can calculate it by using multiple dose kinetics. Then comes handling of missing dose. In case of if we have to administer the drug very rapidly, the dosing intervals are very small, then we have to face the non-compliance issue. The regime with multiple doses have more problems because patients are not willing to take multiple dosing. The impact of missed dose is larger with larger dose and larger tau. If we are administering multiple dosing and we have missed 1 or 2 doses, then there will be more problem. Then this is because the amount of drug lost during the dose interval is greater and the fluctuation is greater. This is because the amount of drug that is being administered in those intervals will be larger, and the fluctuation will be like we have missed 2 doses, then the concentration will fall below the minimum effective concentration. So when we have to achieve the peak plasma concentration, we have to um, we have to spend more time, or we have to administer many doses to achieve that concentration. Due to greater fluctuation, the drug concentration easily fall lower than C minimum, that is below the minimum effective concentration, and missing of dose in extravascular administration has same aspect as giving in IV multiple dosing. They have the same impact. Unequal dosing intervals. Dosing 3 times a day may be interpreted as to take the drug as to take with meal like 8 a.m., 1 p.m., and 7 p.m. So this regime may be acceptable if the drug has the wide therapeutic index and there is no therapeutic disadvantage to low overnight plasma concentration. For example, analgesic of patient uh, stay asleep for longer period of time. So here you can see that unequal dosing interval may have um, minimum effective concentration below the minimum minimum, that is a minimum concentration below the minimum of active concentration, and then you have to administer the drug again, and then to achieve the peak plasma concentration you have to spend more time. The concentration can be calculated based on addition of the individual doses given steady state. So you can see here C11 is equal to D divided by VD into exponent of minus K elimination and T1 divided by VD 1 minus exponent of minus K elimination tau. So CT2 is equal to D divided by VD. D is the dose administered and VD is the volume of distribution, exponent of K elimination, and T2 divided by 1 minus exponent of K elimination and tau. And concentration is equal to D divided by VD. If we sum up all these concentrations, then it will be exponent of K elimination T1 plus plus exponent of K elimination T2, T3, T4, and divided by 1 minus exponent of minus K elimination tau. Tau is the 24-hour interval. Designing and characterization of controlled release formulation. The best way to achieve the constant concentration and constant therapeutic response is to keep a constant rate of administration of drug. There are formulations that are able to release the drug at slower rate or at zero order kinetics. So for zero order kinetics, you can administer the drug at once daily dosing. So such formulations are useful when maintenance of therapeutic concentration is difficult or inconvenient for oral administration, that is shorter half-life. Control released for intramuscular and subcutaneous to be given daily, weekly, monthly, etc., but still fluctuating concentration, but better control similar to longer plateau. So in case of this intramuscular or subcutaneous dosing, then we have to administer the drug daily, weekly, or monthly basis. If we administer them in the control manner, or you can say that once daily dosing or a weekly dosing or monthly dosing, then we can achieve the better control and longer plateau, that will be the steady state concentration. So half-life and dosing interval, if the half-life is less than 24 hours, then once a daily dosing is administered. 6 to 24 hours, 4 times daily or once daily dosing is recommended, and 20 minutes to 8 hours depend on therapeutic index. Wide therapeutic index, then we will administer every 1 to 3 half-lives, and narrow, then we will administer every half-life by infusion. So this is all about multiple dosage regime, and we have discussed need of multiple dosing regime, then plasma level time curve after multiple dosing, then steady state, then features of multiple dosing, then accumulation, fluctuation, principle of superposition, then kinetic analysis after IV dose and extravascular dose, and then application. And thank you so much for listening. If you have any question pertaining to this lecture, you can ask me on Google Classroom discussion board, and the class code for Google Classroom is mentioned on the last slide. Thank you so much.